About the Birds provides you with weekly analysis, game recaps, informative interviews, and it's all birds all the time.
And welcome, everybody. We are going to talk some birds. Finally, going to get a football game. No, the bye week is over. Eagles are preparing for the Monday night matchup in Lambeau. It's going to be a cold one, but that's what football's all about. We got a lot to talk about. A couple of acquisitions for the Philadelphia Eagles, some roster moves, some surprising news that we had gotten on Thursday, and which is today. The big test in Lambeau, of course, as I mentioned, and then of course our keys to the game, locks, all that good stuff. But Matt, how are we doing on this chilly night?
Amazing. Got the door open in the basement in the man cave. Got that crispy air. Man, I'm ready, man. It feels like football outside. I love it. Love this time of year.
So I want to start with the acquisitions the Eagles made. We had talked last show about the Michael Carter trade, which was interesting listening to Howie talk, because Howie did talk after the deadline on Tuesday. Yeah. Kind of mentioned him about his versatility and potentially safety. So that's something to kind of keep a little bit in the back of your head about the kind of what he can do for the team as the backup nickel and kind of what he can do on the field. So that's going to be interesting there. They went out on Saturday night or Saturday during the day. They acquired Jair Alexander from the Baltimore Ravens. And then, of course, on Monday morning, they acquired Jalen Phillips from the Miami Dolphins. So a lot of acquisitions that they made, kind of bolstering the team, bolstering the depth. I like what they did. You were big time on Jalen Phillips. I was Bradley Chubb. I kind of wanted him, but I thought Phillips would have been a little bit unattainable just because of his youth. I just didn't think they were going to trade him and Eagles were going to be able to come up with the cost, and they did. And Miami took about $6 million of his salary too. So listen, they made some deals. They got some depth on this. They got some players, and they've got players coming back. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how they maneuver everything. But what do you think about the two deals that they made?
I think Howie obviously went into, as he always does, he went in this with a budget, right? And he said, we're not going to exceed the budget. We saw some ridiculous trades. We saw Sauce go to the Colts for 2 1s. We got Quinnen Williams go to the Cowboys for a 1.
And
a 2. Yeah. I mean, there were some crazy transactions and for teams that you would think would be all in. The Cowboys one still kind of baffles me. I mean, he's a good player. I think that was definitely a position in need for them, but it just didn't make sense. Anyway, I think Howie went in with a budget. I think he stuck to his guns, and I think he identified his guys within the market value that he thought were attainable, that had familiarity with the coaching staff, right? You have Casper. We talked about it last week. Casper knows Michael Carter. Obviously, Joe Douglas drafted him in New York. And then you have Jair Alexander with Christian Parker, our DB coach, who was a coach of his in Green Bay. And then you have Jalen Phillips, who obviously is pretty familiar with Vic, both of whom have spoken very highly of each other. Vic had glowing remarks about Phillips, which, I mean, we all know Vic does not throw around.
When Vic likes somebody or has an opinion, which I'm sure he definitely let them know, if this guy's available, try to get him as best as you can. I like this player. And I think he was definitely in on that acquisition. And
1,000%. I think he I'm really excited about the Jalen Phillips signing. I think he's going to be really good for this room if he can stay healthy. He's 26. He was at one point, he was like the number 1 recruit in the country in high school. Like he has a pedigree behind him, and unfortunately was slowed down by injuries. And Vic obviously knows what he can do. He gives you some good inside versatility as well, which we like. It allows you to get some fastballs on the field, in like a NASCAR package if they're, towards the end of the game or like a 3rd and long, whatever it might be. He's good. He's stout against the run. By all accounts, he's a tremendous human being. He was their Walter Payton Man of the Year. I just think he's a great addition. I'm hoping he can be here for a while because just the one day of media availability I've seen from him, like I already love the dude. So really, really excited about the direction of this team. It remains to be seen how healthy Jair is and
Yeah.
whether he can get from everything I've heard, it was his conditioning, not necessarily his knee that was the issue. So it'll be interesting because Vic is a big stickler on conditioning and making sure that you're in game shape. So um, I'll be interested to see how they work that rotation and how early and often he plays and where. To be honest,
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting too because when you look at the roster moves that still need to be made, because as we saw on Thursday, the Eagles opened the 21-day window for Willie Lampkin, which
out of nowhere,
out of nowhere,
out of nowhere,
that came, the guard / center. I think he's more of a center, but the fire hydrant that we were happy that they were able to claim and everything.
Yeah.
I liked him coming out. Just, of course, it was of the more stout, smaller size.
5'11", 290.
Yeah.
That is a spark plug, brother.
But yeah, but the thing is, like, you have Lampkin, and then you still need to, because you got 53 men right now. The roster is at 53; it's at the max. You still have Bennett, Jacorian Bennett, and Nolan Smith to activate. Which, to me, I think both of those guys are getting activated. Because is this Bennett's? This has to get activated.
This is his. He's going on his third week, I believe.
Yeah, and Nolan, this is his second week, right? Or is this his third week too?
Or this is his second week for Bennett. Next week would be the third. Like they have until Tuesday, I think. So I think Bennett is due. Smith was activated last week, so I think he has 2 weeks left. He has this week and next week.
Like my opinion is, I think Smith gets activated. I think both Smith and Bennett. I think Lampkin is another week or two before they activate him. Again, the weird thing too is Cam Jurgens did not practice because of the knee and ankle. Yep. So I don't know what they're going to do there. If they have to activate those two guys, there's two moves that need to be made. We know that they did some shuffling of the practice squad, as we had mentioned last show, about Patrick Johnson being released before the 4 p.m. so they could get him right. He didn't go to waivers, one subject to waivers. We're able to get him onto the practice squad. And then you also have, Perry Nickerson, which we had mentioned as well, getting him on the practice squad as well. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do, because there are some positions that have more bodies than usual, like running back. A.J. Dillon is the fourth guy. Yeah. You look at tight end, Kylan Granson. Could that be a potential? Like, there's some options there that
Granson's been so good on special teams. That's the thing, is like the problem when you get to this point of the year is like, yeah, cool, we're getting all these guys back.
If there's no injuries to put people on IR, then you have to make tough decisions. And that's what it comes down to.
And you have to potentially deplete like a special teams unit that is playing extremely well these days. Like they had a rough start, really rough start, but they've been playing really, really well. Like the coverage units are playing awesome. Latu has been awesome there. Granson's been playing really well there. So
it's
Johnson is a big part of their special teams. I don't know. I want our star players back, but I also like special teams is we're seeing it all over the league this year. It's extremely important.
I think you look at some of the positions of depth, and we didn't mention corner, because the amount of cornerbacks and defensive backs in that room is pretty massive. I don't know. Did we talk about the two guys who went on IR? I don't think we did. Marcus Epps
and Ojulari.
I think we talked about those last episode.
We might have, but we might as well touch on it.
So, those two guys go on IR, which were kind of to me was out of, now Ojulari wasn't out of the blue. I kind of figured he was going to go on IR just because of being injured.
Well, we knew they were going after an edge rusher.
Yeah. So
that made sense.
But the Marcus Epps thing, and then that's where the Michael Carter thing comes into play, and you look at that. But still, the cornerback position, if you activate Jacorian Bennett, then what do you do? Because it looks like Adoree Jackson's practicing. I don't think they're going to be getting rid of him. Keeler Ringo is just going to be a special teamer because to me, he drops down to third or fourth on that depth chart.
So that gives you 5 right there.
To me, I had mentioned to you before we started about don't be surprised if you see Mac McWilliams pop on the injury report and then goes to IR. That could definitely be a spot. Or Drew Kendall pops on the injury report and goes on IR. Or Cam Jurgens goes on IR. So things can happen. Now they can release players too, but again, you said they're subject to waivers. And if you release an A.J. Dillon, he's getting claimed because there are many teams that need running backs, especially depth. Chargers, exactly. So I'm not sure the Eagles want to do that because if then you have no – I don't think there's any running backs on the practice squad.
There are not. I was just talking about that today. But you do have guys like Montrell Johnson who are out there that have familiarity with the team. I'm not as concerned about running back 4 at this point as I am like.
But they need to fill spots are going to have to be created. So they're going to need to do something when it comes to that. So it's going to be interesting to see the shuffling that comes into play here because I believe it's by Saturday. I'm sure they have to, activate and make the roster.
They get day of on.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. It's Monday night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, they have a little bit of extra time.
Yeah.
But if they are going to put Jurgens on IR,
you do it this week.
They got to do it this week so that this week counts. Yeah. Unless they think it's a 6-week injury, right? Unless they think it's a big deal, then they probably should have done it before the bye. But that indicates to me that they don't think it's long term, which is I don't know. This is they have some tough decisions to make, and this is how we lost Patrick Johnson last year to the Giants because we had to make decisions like this, and he got claimed by the Giants, and it's a whole thing. So
it's going to be interesting to see what they do when it comes to that. Like that's why I'm saying, like to me, with Jurgens being hurt and being, have him being out last game and then the bye week, and to me, it wouldn't be surprised for them to clear up a roster spot by, maybe IRing him.
I wouldn't be surprised. You also have like Cameron Williams, right? Is just taking up a roster spot right now. Hinton's on IR. But isn't Cameron Williams?
I thought Cameron Williams went on IR. I thought he went on IR.
Did he? Let's find out.
One of those mystery injuries.
I know Hinton did.
Yeah, Hinton did. So did Cam Williams. Yes, because you only have Drew Kendall, Toth, Matt Pryor, and Fred Johnson.
Which one is it, man?
I don't know. I'm going with Toth. I'm going with Toth.
Toth sounds cooler.
Yeah.
Or does it? I don't even know.
But again, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. That's all I'll have to say. With that, we'll get into the game now.
He is all right. So he is on IR. You're right.
Yeah. So we'll see what they do. They've got some positions of depth that potentially they could let go of somebody and hopefully be able to sneak them back on the practice squad after they clear waivers. But again, we'll see what they do with that.
But
possibly. It's going to be interesting to see it's going to be interesting. Believe me.
I'm just looking real quick. Matt Pryor, Kendall on IR, Granson, Dillon,
McWilliams.
I can see McWilliams on IR. Oh man, Calcaterra would be a dream.
Yeah.
That's really it, man. Like that's really the only other people that you could think about releasing would be the people that you just acquired. So it's gonna be a tough one, man.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be a fun day for Howie.
No. We'll see what they do, but looking at this game here, the Green Bay Packers had a very tough game against the Carolina Panthers on Sunday, losing that game 16-13, I believe. Offense just was non-existent for them. And to me, I just think they're a team you just can't sleep on. Yeah, they had a bad game. They had a bad game against Cleveland too. But like you can't take them for granted because to me, I still think they have a solid team. They're the record they are for a reason. They're a good squad. They're a good team. If they're able to get pressure up the middle on Love and try to force him, it's gonna bode beneficial to them. I think the one weakness for them when you look at their defense to me is their secondary outside of Xavier McKinney. But, Keyshawn Nixon and Carrington Ballantyne, like, I think those are aspects that you can try to take advantage of. Like, I still think their pass rush is still really good. You still have Micah Parsons, still have Rashawn Gary. Edrin Cooper can blitz. So you have some good players when you look at their defensive squad.
Right.
But it's going to be interesting to see what the Eagles do, because do they build off of what they did against the Giants? The under center running and the under center play action and what they were doing that, do they feed Saquon off of that and everything? And again, Saquon was full practice. So was AJ, and AJ had mentioned too, he is playing. Yeah. So they had asked him that as locker, along with other stuff that I'm not going to get into anymore. I'm done talking about it. It's beyond that. But what do you think in terms of looking at this Packers team and the way to kind of attack them? You want to start out on defense or offense? I'm not sure how you want to.
Yeah, we'll start off our offense versus their defense, since we were just talking about it. But like, when I look at Micah and how we play him, typically, you run right at him. Like,
true.
He's a really disruptive player from like a depth blitzing position, and from like the edges on a pass rush. But like, Lane and Mailata have pretty good success against him. Now, obviously, it's a different team, it's a different scheme, but they've always had success running it right at Micah.
Yeah.
It's not his strength. I would take Lane one-on-one against Micah in the run game any day. And so I would continue to do what they're doing and attack those edges. With the outside zone that they had a ton of success with both Tank and Saquon last week.
Mm-hmm.
Getting our offensive line out in the second level, in a pulling scenario with like Toth. Like, he looked really good pulling as a center. Like, he showed some decent athleticism. He had a couple pancakes. That's where Mailata and Lane thrive. That's where Dickinson thrives. So, like, get these guys moving, and attack these edges. Get them to over pursue, because this defense is a fast, smaller defense. They're predicated on speed. So if you get them over pursuing and get Saquon cutting it back to the backside on some of these outside zones, like, that's where you break these big runs. So on offense, I would expect them to do that. And on I would also expect them to feed Dallas Goedert.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they've been very good against tight ends this year. And then on the flip side, speaking of tight ends, like, they're without their top
Tucker Kraft with the ACL
in Tucker Kraft. So they have a ton of receivers, but it's a quantity, not quality game with the Packers receiving core. So I would again attack the edges on offense. On defense, I would attack the middle of the field.
Yeah, it's
when Goddard.
It's going to be interesting too when you look at the Packers offense, because without Tucker Kraft, who was their leading receiver, like, they have Christian Watson, who is working his way back. It'll be, I believe, his third or fourth game since he's come back. I'm not sure the status of Matthew Golden. I know he did get hurt in the last game. I believe
it says he's out in all that. Okay. In our lads says he's out, but who knows?
Yeah, I know they just practiced today. I think they only had 3 guys that were DNPs in practice. Lucas Van Ness was one. I don't remember who the other 2 guys were, but it's going to be interesting to see what the way that because listen, they can attack you with the run game.
Nate Hobbs, DNP, Lucas Van Ness, and Savion Williams.
Yeah. I think too, like, looking at them offensively, like,
their guards are food.
Yeah. So I think the one thing too is, like, with them, Reed is out. He had the broken collarbone, so that's another loss, big loss for them. Tucker Kraft now is out. The big thing is if you can control their run game and turn them somewhat one-dimensional, it could definitely be more beneficial for you. It's not always an easy thing because Josh Jacobs is a really talented back, but you have to try to keep and listen. I think it's gonna be better for the Eagles defense because Nakobe Dean has really helped them solidify that run game and the way he's been playing. BG being back, hopefully we'll see where he's at, depending how many snaps he gets. Phillips isn't the best against the run, but sometimes I feel like a change of scenery can really rejuvenate a guy into being something like. And then if Nolan Smith is back too, so there's a lot that comes into play here.
We think, right?
Yeah, we think so. If he is back. It's going to be really interesting to see the way the defense is. Listen, I'm still interested to see the way they play it and what they do with the secondary. Yeah, there's a little yawn there.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Oh man, but no, I'm just interested to see what they do. One, what they do with the cornerback rotation, because if Adori's playing, he's probably going to start.
Yeah.
And then maybe they'll work in if Jacorian Bennett's activated. Maybe they work him in. It's going to be interesting to see. Listen,
I think on defense the key there is the guard position, right? Like Aaron.
And listen, Moro Jomo, has been really playing well, getting his pressure and getting. I think he has 4 sacks this year.
Yeah.
And then of course you have Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis.
In sacks.
If I'm not mistaken. I think you're correct.
Which is insane. Just like we all predicted. So, with him and Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, and now, you have these edges like Jalen Phillips that has never. Well, I can't say he's never played with a player like Carter, but because he played with Christian Watkins when he was in his
Wilkins
when he was still on a team.
Booty hole Wilkins.
Yeah, booty hole. But
sorry.
No, that was perfect. I mean, he's the one time he played with him, he had 6.5 sacks in 8 games. So I really think they're going to be able to attack those guards. I know Elton Jenkins is not going to want to see Nolan Smith again.
Have flashbacks.
Last time he pulled and tried to take out little baby Nolan Smith, he fractured his collarbone, took him out of the game. So I really think the offensive line is something that we can take advantage of from a defensive front. I'm really interested to see how they respond because Carter looks like he's back to being in shape. Ojomo is playing the best football of any defensive lineman, arguably, on the team. Jordan Davis now has a chance to get his breath back and show that conditioning. Jalen Phillips is coming back, energized, looking for a second contract. Nolan Smith is always fired up. So BG's coming back.
Play a little bit.
Better. And BG's coming back, and he's tremendous in the run. Loves collapsing the pocket. I think it's going to be the day where our defensive line starts to click. I know last week was you could argue that was a game with 5 sacks, but it was also the Giants. Yeah. So, the key to my game this week would be their interior offensive line specifically.
Yeah, I'm going to go on the other side, key to the game, as I mentioned earlier, Eagles receivers versus the secondary of the Packers. AJ and Devontae going up against Keyshawn Nixon and Carrington Valentine. And then, you have Dallas Goedert going up against their.
Keyshawn's having a hell of a year, though. I'm not saying that he's gonna lock up AJ, but I will shout him out because he's been primarily a nickel corner for most of his career and a return guy. So shout out to him. He's having a heck of a year for someone who is not typically an outside corner.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the way they do. But like you said it too, and like Dallas Goedert, in the middle of that field, doing some different things, and I'm just interested. And again, I'm really interested to see what they do with the under center play action game. If they keep instilling that in the offense, that to me, I think that is absolutely crucial for this
I think they
team to
have
be
to, right?
successful, and I do too.
Well, I
But I
think
think
part of
they'll,
that again is necessity because of Toth.
yeah,
That's really bothering me. Um,
Brett, tell him Brett,
yeah,
64.
I'm gonna hit him up and ask him how he pronounces it. So, um, I again, I think part of why they're under center is because he has not been awesome at shotgun snaps.
Definitely could be, yeah. But again, I think
But I
the
think
under center
Saquon
game,
also prefers it.
yeah, I think the under center game is another wrinkle to the offense that can be really beneficial.
I
And
agree.
if we see another game like we saw against the Giants with the way the offense was working, if it works off of that as well, then you may have something there. So it's going to
Yeah.
be definitely something fun to
I'm
watch.
I'm circling Javon Bullard in the nickel. He was a heck of a player. I really liked him coming out of Georgia, but like,
That was more of a safety, in my opinion.
well, that was kind of what I was gonna say. Like, I you could probably go on my X account and search it. You'll see that I compared him to Chauncey,
Yeah,
to CJ, but I'd be interested. That's the one I'm circling because if you can get him locked up on Smitty,
I was going to say put Smitty in the slot and then
dude,
try to take advantage of his route running against Bullard. That may help you,
yeah.
and then throw Dotson on the outside or Darius Cooper on the outside.
I mean, that's what they've been doing. I'd
Yeah.
also like to see them continue what they did against the Giants and get Smitty on these like deep crossers.
Mhm.
They had some. It was it was like all of our prayers were heard in that last game. Like they ran from under center, they hit the outside
They did.
zone, and then they did these like these crossing routes to Smitty and to Dotson and like to Goddard. I would love them to see them continue these in breaking routes and put the receiver in front of Hurts's
The
face.
the RPO game too, like the play to Goddard and stuff like that. I want to see some of that, more of that too.
Yeah,
So
I thought that was beautiful. And keep an eye on that too because like they started getting Gibson involved.
mhm.
They did that little like jet flip pass.
Yep.
And then they ran that same formation on that Goddard play that you're talking about where they did like a fake flip pass and popped it a little tight end pop pass to Goddard. That was beautiful. So
No, it's
I like
great.
it. That's the other key to the game is like can Patullo put two back-to-back games together?
We'll see. It's gonna be fun. To me, I know I like when
I'm
you get
excited.
matchups
Yeah.
against top teams in the conference, and it's a big game
Yeah.
because you want to get that tiebreaker over a team that come the end of the year you may
Yeah.
need. Well, they have a tie, so it's a little bit different in the aspect of that, but
Yeah.
you want to try to knock them down another notch.
And I love how the Eagles are pulling out the black lid, white jerseys, black pants, the Brazil
the Brazil look.
the Brazil look from the opening game last year against the Packers. I love that.
Mhm.
A little bit
Yeah.
of pettiness. I enjoy it.
It's fine by me, but
Yeah.
this brings us to a fun section of the show that we have not been very good at, but it's always fun.
Hey.
It's time for the Locks of the week. Who's your lock?
Alrighty. So we haven't done it since the Eagles last played the Vikings. So it's been like 3 weeks. So we haven't done it really.
Been a hot minute.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. I'm going to let you go first.
Dude.
What is your feeling on this week's Eureka Lock?
My lock is that I'm going to eat so much candy from Halloween that I throw up. No, my lock is that Jalen Phillips is going to have 2 sacks on Monday Night Football in his debut for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Wow.
Lock it in, bruh. I feel very confident with that.
Do you?
No, but I would like it to happen.
I feel very confident. Actually, I don't really feel confident, but we're just gonna go with that. All right, so Jalen Phillips 2 sacks.
Done.
Not bad. Not bad. I was gonna go with not the Eagles game. I was gonna go with college. I was gonna go a little Lehigh, but I'm not gonna go that route because they are playing 2-7 Holy Cross. That to me, it's just
never know. Upset city. Baby.
No, you never know.
Game.
But I'm not gonna go that route. I'm gonna stay in the NFL, and
I like it.
What I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with this game since you did. It makes it easier to track. But I'm going to go with that the Eagles and Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts will have two passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdowns and over a 100 quarterback rating.
Damn. Okay.
So let me just write that down.
Very
2
specific.
TDs, 1 rush TD, and then over.
Honestly,
100.
I hope we have a 90-yard drive where it's just all tush pushes.
Oh, that's right, because of the Packers. Oops. 2 sacks.
And how about the college football bracket? The projection. We could potentially have a round 2.
The FCS projection that I sent you. There's an FCS projection where Duquesne would play Rhode Island, which means Duquesne would have to win their conference. They would play Rhode Island, and then the winner of that game would play Lehigh, which Lehigh was the 5th seed. They are number 4 in the FCS right now, but they were a 5th seed. So they would play, most likely they would play in Lehigh. I don't think they would play in Duquesne. That wouldn't really be fair, in my opinion, if you're a top 5. But that's what's going to be interesting, because if Lehigh keeps winning and they wind up getting a top seed, they have no lights at their stadium.
Sorry, what?
There are no lights at Goodman Stadium in Lehigh.
What do they do?
They usually play noon, 1 o'clock games.
Wow. We could all
Usually
just
noon
pull
games.
Pull up our cars, turn on the lights.
So that is interesting, because if they wind up getting deep into the FCS playoffs, they're going to be most likely later games, which do they bring portable lighting? That is something that is interesting.
Or do they play somewhere else?
Where else would they play?
I don't know.
Lafayette?
A real school?
They're a real school. 9-0, bitch.
I'm joking.
Alrighty.
I hope this happens. That'd be fun. If it happens, I doubt it will, but if it does happen where Duquesne plays Lehigh, we'll have to make a real bet on the show and maybe live stream part of it.
Okay. I'm down
It
with
would
that.
not be it would likely not be fun for me as a Duquesne Duke, but it would still be fun.
Yeah, I think it would be fun. Now that brings us to prediction time. I'll go first since you went first on the You Like a Lock.
There you go.
I think it's gonna be a tough game. Lambeau, I know they've lost twice at home this year. They haven't showed very well sometimes against some other teams. The Green Bay Packers I'm talking about. But I'm looking at this. Eagles have had 15? They're going to have 15 days essentially off since their last game. Yep. Getting healthier, having a game plan for the Packers. I'm going Eagles 27, Packers 20.
All right. I have a similar sentiment where I think it's going to be a tough game. They're a really good team. They're coming off of an embarrassing loss to the Panthers. It's either going to be a close game and they're going to be fired up, or the Eagles are just going to completely stomp them. I'm hoping it's the latter. I don't think it will be. So I'm going to go 28-24 Eagles. Although I do feel like it could potentially be more of a rout than that.
Hey, I'm okay with a rout, but it's going to be...
Have we scored less than 30 points this year?
Have we scored less than 30?
Yeah.
Yeah. Eagles schedule. Let's take a look.
I guess we did when we lost. Lost, right? But like,
so they've scored. Yeah. So week 1, 24. Week 2, 20. Week 3, 33, 31, 17, 17, 28, 38.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Every time I pick like 28 or 27, I'm like, oh man, have we scored that like few points? Yeah, I mean, out of 8 games so far, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have 1, 2, 3. So we only have 3 of 8 games over 30. Okay. Still.
The other good thing.
Sorry for thinking out loud there.
It's okay. The other good thing is the next number of games are all essentially prime time, if you want to call it that. You got the Monday night against the Packers, a Sunday night against the Lions, then the 4:25 in Dallas, then the Black Friday game, and then the Monday night game against the Chargers. I like it.
Yeah. I do like a 1 o'clock game, though. I like waking up, grabbing a cup of coffee, kicking it around with the kids for a little bit, and then boom, game time. I do like that.
Nah.
Getting home from so I have season tickets. Getting home from primetime games is a nightmare.
Oh, I can just imagine.
And I'm completely.
But if they're primetime games away.
Yeah, a little bit better.
But no, I love the primetime aspect. Get all the stuff I need to get done during the day, put Red Zone on or whatever, let the games kind of
get right into it. I like to get right into it.
Yeah, sometimes the focus is there, but the focus gets shifted from other aspects around.
I see.
People know what I'm talking about who have kids.
I feel you. I just don't. I just neglect my kids. That's the secret. Sundays is for daddy. Okay. Not for kids.
Yeah.
They get Monday through Saturday. Daddy gets Sunday.
Unless they play on Monday.
Yeah, right. Or Monday. Yeah.
Oh man. But with that, as we always end it, thank you everyone for watching. 1, 2, make sure you're subscribing. Everything is at the bottom there, all the socials.
Check out the link tree.
Check out the link tree, has everything there. Any questions or anything, you always hit us up. But as we always end it with a very happy and joyful Go Birds!
Go Birds!
This is Matt Ware. Hey, for all the Eagle content you need, go follow All About the Birds. They do a damn thing. Check them out.
Hey Eagles fans, I may be in Tampa, but I know where to find the best Eagles content out there. Check out my friends at All About the Birds.
Philadelphia, what's up? This your boy Freddie Mitchell, aka Fred X. It's all about the bird.
All birds all the time. All birds all the time.
All About the Birds provides you with weekly analysis, game recaps, informative interviews, and it's all birds all the time.